I managed to find 3 stories that take place during school lockdowns. Let's dive into this tense and realistic narrative. It was a typical, boring day in design class, a Friday, last class of the day. This made the week almost over and spring break was about to begin. Everyone was restless in their seats. Unlike many of my friends who had experimented with other teachers, our teacher decided in the middle of class to start playing with us on sportscle.com. He was a very relaxed teacher in that way. While we were taking a quiz about brand logos, I remember exactly the moment it happened. My friend had just answered a question and I recorded the exact answer, Adidas. The principal's voice came over the loudspeaker, sounding terrified and frantic, warning all teachers that this was not a drill and that they should go into lockdown immediately. We get goosebumps and chills on our arms when we see our teacher, usually casually. We also panic as we rush to turn off the lights and head to the corner of the room. Sitting in silence for about 2 minutes, we soon noticed that the usual buzzing sound from the panel at the back of the room had stopped, indicating that the school had cut off all power. We all looked at each other, realizing the gravity of the situation. A few minutes later, we heard a man shouting at the top of his lungs in the hallway. 2 girls in the room started crying, which scared us even more. As the screams approached our living room, the man began banging on the cabinets while shouting, "I'm going to kill you all." At that moment, I began to fear for my life. Our teacher told us to be silent while we observed our classmates' reactions. The banging on the lockers soon moved to our classroom door, and one of the girls who was crying sincerely, "No," in despair. The man then began knocking on the door even harder, shouting, "A bro." 2 girls were crying loudly now, and it seemed like that man had been banging on the door for an eternity, but finally he continued down the halls, screaming like a madman until we couldn't hear him anymore. About 10 minutes later, although it felt like 30, the director came back on the speaker to explain the situation, something surprising to him. He said an apparent mentally frightening individual had entered the building and assaulted the woman at reception, causing her to flee the building screaming. It was not known that the man was armed. This was before the school had cameras or could afford proper security, so the school was completely vulnerable to something like this. The team had searched the hallways and classrooms but did not find the man. The principal instructed teachers to continue teaching, but with the doors locked and without letting any students leave for any reason. The most disturbing aspect, however, was that one of the custodians, working the night shift, found the man sleeping in one of the storage closets at the back of the school. According to rumors among students, the man had a .44 Magnum revolver in his pocket. The janitor must have done something reckless, like leaving the closet door open, because by the time the police arrived, the man had already fled. To this day, my class doesn't know if this man was found, but I like to think that he is now getting the help he needs. Our school has 2 lunch periods. The first is for all 6th-year students and part of 7th-year students. The second is for the other half of 7th graders and all 8th graders. The lockdown took place at the beginning of October, during the first lunch period. The day was cloudy and rainy. During the first lunch, I heard 4 loud noises. I thought it was thunder, but the whole cafeteria started screaming. I thought the students were overreacting, but campus security came in and started yelling at everyone to go to the multipurpose hall. Whoever was in line to buy lunch had to throw the food away and enter the room. Some friends and I entered the hall along with a large group of other students. Everyone was curious to know what was happening. Our multipurpose hall is huge, and the back wall is made of clear glass. When we entered, security guards were covering the glass with curtains and there were adults at all the exits. My friend Eric was just as curious as we were, so he asked one of the adults what was going on. When he came back, he told us, "You know those houses in front of TMS?" I replied yes. There is a mentally disturbed man who has barricaded himself in front of his house and is threatening to commit suicide and kill the police officers if he is evicted. He was walking outside the school watching the children in a strange way, said Eric. We discovered that the man was also a registered sex offender, which made the situation even worse. We were stuck in the multipurpose room for a whole hour, taking up 2 periods. After resolving the situation, we were escorted back to our rooms, one by one. I later discovered that the man lived next door to my friend Brandy, who told me about a previous Halloween when she saw the same man in the window, cutting his arm and writing in his own blood, "Don't come here or I'll kill you." Of course, it being Halloween, people, including Brandy, thought it was just decoration for the holiday. But after this horrible incident, we knew this man was mentally unstable and we were relieved he never came near us. I'm 22 years old, recently graduated from college, and I got a job at my old school as some sort of IT intern in the school basement. The school basement is very messy and disorganized, but there is a small office for 3 people that is actually quite nice. It has 3 large desks, 2 mini refrigerators, a wall-mounted flat-screen TV, and extremely satisfactory air conditioning, a luxury that students and teachers cannot enjoy at school. And, of course, all the school servers and other IT things. I got the job because 3 of my old computer teachers loved me. I could actually consider them as real friends, not just teacher figures, so they helped a lot in getting me this job. Everything was going well until a few weeks ago when something disturbing happened. My 2 co-workers who share the office with me, Dave and Gary, were not in the office at the time. They were upstairs, working on some paperwork or something. I was eating my sandwich during my lunch break when I received a call from one of the women in the office saying that the school was on lockdown and that someone, possibly armed, had entered the school. There wasn't much I could do other than turn off the lights, because surprisingly, as nice as this little office was, it didn't have a door as such, just a large opening. And the basement door didn't even have a working lock. For my own safety, I turned off all the office lights and my computer screen. I left my phone on the table, texting Gary and Dave, but they didn't respond. I sat there in the dark, playing on my phone for about 20 minutes, waiting for the office to call to inform me that the lockdown was over. I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't hear anything that was going on upstairs, but I wasn't allowed to make any calls until I was told the lockdown was over. Then, the noisy basement door opened, and the creaking echoed through the basement and into my office. I got up from my chair, wondering if I should call Gary or Dave. I was eager to get some information from them. Someone then ran down the stairs, and the footsteps approached my office. I moved my chair away and hid under the table. Someone entered the office but didn't turn on the lights. There was only silence. I can't describe the fear I was feeling. It felt like if I made a single noise, I would be dead. Suddenly, my phone beeped as it received a text message. I felt my world fall apart at that moment, as I gritted my teeth in fear. The footsteps got closer to me until I finally crawled out from under the table in capitulation, begging whoever it was not to kill me. At that moment, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was a man wearing a red plaid shirt, jeans, and a red and black cap. He told me, "It's okay, I'm just hiding here with you. What's going on up there?" I whispered to him, but he kind of ignored my question and asked if there was a way out here. I said yes, pointing in the right direction. Before he could do anything, I asked, "Who are you?" There was a brief moment of silence before he began to explain that he was there to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. After the explanation, I checked my phone and saw that the message I received was from Dave. It said, "Man, this is crazy. A guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and a cap. Whatever it is, don't go up." I was about to reread the message aloud to the man when I realized the danger. I looked up and felt my stomach sink. The man seemed to notice my expression of distrust. Panicking, all I could think about was running upstairs. A gunshot echoed through the basement, and I could hear the bullet ricochet off something metallic. I knew the danger was close, but at that moment, my only concern was getting out of there alive. In the dimness of the basement, I heard a gun fire. Thank God, the bullet didn't hit me, and I managed to get to the top floor. Fortunately, the police were waiting at every exit, including the basement exit, and arrested the man the moment he opened the door. More good news, our teacher, Mr. Buckley, survived the shooting. It was later determined that the man and Mr. Buckley had some sort of feud, although the reasons were never revealed. All we know is that Mr. Buckley could not have done anything to justify such an extreme reaction. And I know that the sound of that shot will forever echo in my mind. And so we end another dive into chilling and scary stories about school lockdowns. If these stories made your heart race and gave you a chill, don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. We want to hear your opinions and experiences too. Have you ever been through a similar situation? Tell us in the comments below. And so you don't miss any new videos, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell to receive all notifications. Each week, we'll bring you more disturbing and intriguing stories that will keep you up at night. And if you have any suggestions for a theme or story for future videos, leave your suggestion in the comments. Until next time, and remember, stay safe and always be aware.